The calm of the suburban afternoon shattered as the deep growl of motorcycle engines rolled down the street. Curtains fluttered, dogs barked, and mothers called their children inside. 4 men in black leather vests, their insignia blazing like fire, rode in formation, the Iron Hearts Motorcycle Club. Their reputation preceded them. Dangerous, reckless, untamed. Yet beneath the thunder of engines, a smaller sound fought to be heard. A trembling voice, innocent but brave. "Excuse me, sir. Will you buy my bicycle?" The leader, Logan, braked hard, his boots crunching against the pavement. He scanned the street and saw her, a little girl no older than 6, standing alone beside a pink bicycle with a white basket and a cardboard sign that read, "For sale." For a moment, even the engines went quiet. Logan swung a leg off his bike and walked toward her, his shadow stretching long under the afternoon sun. The other riders, Rex, Hunter, and Blade, followed close behind. The girl's name was Lila, small, pale, her blonde curls messy but her eyes fierce with determination. "Why are you selling your bike?" Logan asked gently, kneeling to meet her gaze. She hesitated, biting her lip before whispering, "Because my mommy's hungry." Her voice cracked on the last word. Logan's chest tightened as she added, "She hasn't eaten in 2 days. I thought maybe someone would buy it so I can get her food." Her words carried the weight of desperation no child should ever know. The bikers glanced at one another. No words, just heavy silence. Something in that moment shifted inside them all. But before we dive into what happens next, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from today? Drop your country in the comment below and please like the video. Thank you. Now let's continue. When Logan followed the direction of Lila's trembling hand, he saw her mother, a thin woman sitting weakly under an oak tree across the street. A faded blanket covered her knees, her face ghostly pale beneath strands of tangled hair. Lila called softly, "Mommy, I found someone who might help." The woman looked up, confusion flickering across her tired eyes. Logan approached slowly, speaking in a low, respectful voice. "Ma'am, I'm Logan. Your daughter's a brave kid." The woman tried to stand but swayed, gripping the tree trunk for balance. "I'm fine," she murmured, though her lips trembled. "We just fell on hard times." Logan saw truth in her eyes, exhaustion, pride, and hunger. He turned back toward Lila and said quietly, "You shouldn't be out here trying to fix what adults broke." The little girl's chin lifted. "Someone has to." Under that oak tree, the truth spilled out in trembling fragments. The woman's name was Elena. She'd once worked for a successful catering company owned by Mr. Martin Hallstrom, a man with silver hair, smooth words, and a spotless public image. When business slowed, he'd fired half his staff, including Elena, without a shred of remorse. "I begged him to let me stay," she said softly, her voice breaking. "Even offered to work extra hours for no pay, just until I could find something else. He told me everyone's replaceable." Lila listened, her small fingers clinging to her mother's hand. Logan's jaw tightened, anger rising like heat beneath his tattoos. He'd seen men like Hallstrom before, powerful, heartless, untouchable. But what burned most was the sight of this woman and her daughter paying the price for another man's greed. Logan stood, his fists clenched, eyes fixed on the horizon as the sun began to dip. "Stay here," he told Elena gently. "Get some rest. We'll be back." He reached into his vest and pulled out a roll of cash, pressing it into Lila's tiny palm. "Buy food for your mom. And don't you dare sell that bike." Her eyes widened as tears welled up. "Thank you, mister," she whispered. Rex revved his engine. Hunter nodded once. Blade cracked his knuckles with a grin that said, "Someone's about to get a visit." The air thickened with purpose as the 4 men mounted their bikes. When the engines roared again, the sound wasn't just noise. It was justice on the move. Neighbors peeked through curtains once more, but this time what passed wasn't fear. It was the echo of something righteous. Downtown, the glass tower of Hallstrom Enterprises gleamed in the evening sun, a monument to wealth built on others' suffering. The Iron Hearts stormed through the marble lobby, heads turning as their boots echoed against the floor. "We're here to see Mr. Hallstrom," Logan said. The receptionist froze. Moments later, they were standing inside a sprawling office with floor-to-ceiling windows. Martin Hallstrom looked up from behind his polished desk, his watch glinting like arrogance. "What's the meaning of this?" he demanded. Logan didn't answer. Instead, he pulled something from his jacket, Lila's crumpled cardboard sign, and set it on the desk. "That's what your greed costs," he said quietly. Hallstrom's face paled as Logan told him about the woman he'd fired, the child trying to sell her bike to buy bread, and the hunger his decision had caused. Hallstrom sputtered excuses. Economic pressure, company policy, nothing personal. But every word fell flat under Logan's steady stare. The air grew heavy, thick with shame and truth. Rex stepped closer, voice low and cold. "You can hide behind numbers, but people pay the price." For once, Hallstrom's confident mask cracked. He looked down at the small cardboard sign on his desk, its handwritten letters shaking under the weight of meaning. Logan leaned in, his voice firm but calm. "You can't undo what's done, but you can do what's right. No threat, no violence, just a line drawn in silence." Then, as quietly as they had arrived, the bikers turned and left. The glass doors closed behind them, leaving Hallstrom alone with his reflection, a man forced to see himself through the eyes of those he'd forgotten. By nightfall, word spread across town like wildfire. No one knew the full story, but everyone whispered about the change in Martin Hallstrom. He had begun making phone calls, lots of them. By the next morning, several struggling families received anonymous donations of food and money. Hospital bills were cleared. Jobs were reinstated. Elena, too, was offered her position back, along with an apology that almost brought her to tears. People wondered what had caused the sudden shift in the heart of such a proud man. But the Iron Hearts never said a word. They rode in silence, engines humming like a prayer beneath the night sky. Sometimes justice didn't wear a badge. Sometimes it came wearing leather, steel, and the scars of men who'd lost faith, and found it again in the eyes of a child. As dawn broke, the Iron Hearts returned to that quiet street. Lila saw them first and came running, her pink bike rattling as she pedaled across the road. "Mommy's better now," she shouted, waving. Elena stood beside her, a little stronger, a little brighter, tears of gratitude in her eyes. She offered Logan bread from a fresh loaf, still warm. He smiled faintly. "You don't owe us thanks," he said. "Just promise you'll never lose hope again." They ate together under the same oak tree where sorrow had once sat. The morning light glinted off the bikes, turning chrome to gold. When it was time to leave, Lila hugged Logan tightly. "You're the nicest bad guy I ever met," she whispered. He chuckled softly, revved his engine and rode away, leaving behind a story the whole town would never forget. If this story touched your heart, don't just scroll away. Somewhere out there, a little kindness could change someone's whole world, just like it did for Lila and her mother. We share true and inspiring stories that remind us humanity still shines in unexpected places. So before you go, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Your one click helps us spread more stories of compassion, courage, and hope. Stories the world truly needs right now. And tell us in the comments below, what would you have done if you were in Logan's place? Because sometimes, all it takes is one act of kindness to prove that heroes still exist.